Welcome back, everyone. Apologies for that impromptu break, but we are ready to pick up right where we left off with lobby number 2 going in now, and Habu Gabu looking to capitalize on a nice early victory here, looking at again, a fairly mediocre-looking pool of heroes. Collins, what are you favoring?
I do like Barov actually in this tournament. A lot of people have good team play, and Habadaba and RDU have been one of the best in demonstrating their team play. If you have double the information, you know a lot of the board states when you're making these bets is going to make it a lot easier to get that gold. So I think that's what I would pick. If he's looking a little high rolly, you could go for the Shenvala and getting the elementals there.
Sure. See what he ends up with. He is taking it out, and yes, he is a believer in the Shenvala. My man, I am absolutely on the Shenvala hype train right now. Like, maybe I have been high rolling in my 5 or so games so far since the patch, but even pre-patch I had pretty good results with Shenvala overall, so yeah, I do think the potential is there.
I'm a Barov believer, so I would have picked a different pickup here. But we're going to see if he can get elementals in these first 3 rolls. I think that is the most critical thing. If he can hit those, then he'll be in a decent spot. Unfortunately for him, this first roll is disaster. No tokens, no nothing, really. Not even good minions to at least win the round.
He is going to find himself up against the Alakir here, who is Alexis Diesel, so he is not even finding his teammate here in RDU, but his teammate RDU is on the refarm. We have seen on multiple occasions how effective Habu Gabu and RDU are at pairing together those fights when they face off against each other, so RDU also now has an advantage, a character, that can take extra advantage of that.
Yeah, Silver Name as well, also getting not the best level of hero with the Arana. So that's 2 lobbies in a row. He's been having a tough deal. We'll see if he can make it out this time.
Elemental in the shop now for Habu, but very off curve to be looking for that here. So I think this will just be another standard level up and potentially just letting this roll into the Tavern 2 minions next turn.
Yeah, he has a couple options. He can either level up and lock and just, keep that in there. I do think that is extremely risky and probably not what he's going to do. Probably just going to hope to hit elementals here. This next round is going to be really critical for him.
Yeah, because he currently wants to sell and double buy, right? So locking this shop is very sketchy. He's going to be way behind the curve in terms of stats if he ends up doing that, even with the elemental discount on the Tavern ups.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about, right? The minion that he got first wasn't strong enough to even tie with a lot of the competitors, so he's going to start 5 HP down for no absolute reason, and his hero, is struggling for him as well. So
absolutely nothing in this shop. That is a whole bunch of garbage now for Habu Gabu. Finds himself up against the Arana as well in Silver Name.
You can see the pressure on his cam where he just knows that this was the most important hit and he didn't hit anything. He does find an elemental here. We'll see if he decides to pick that up, or we'll go for something instead with the 2 Murlocs.
Okay, there's a elemental. That's a pretty reasonable double buy for him now on the following turn. So he does throw out the freeze, but it's almost certain he's going to take another decent hit here. Although the type of minions that Silvername has available here, he's actually going to be able to carve most of this damage off the board, especially if this now goes right.
Yeah, not the worst loss for him. Hopefully he can find a way to salvage it. Ooh, we have Dummit finding a triple here. We'll see if he wants to hero power it, or we'll just wait and hero power it next turn. Looks like he's going for potentially a 5-drop here with this play, so we'll see what he can do with that now.
Yeah, this is an insanely good Maev opening for Dummit, because he has found, 5 token minions already? 3 of them on his board and 2 of them frozen or dormant in the shop, being already pre-bought. So he has access to so much money now over the coming turns, as well as that triple that Collins was talking about.
Yeah, it looks like he'll be going for a 5 and seeing if he can find some direction in that game. A lot of people are looking for genies and things, trying to use that to carve out their advantages in the early game.
Right. He will be facing off against Boodalicious on the Kael'thas, and no surprise, big pile of stats on Kael'thas' side, but that's a really nice value trade on the old Murkai opening there for Dummit, and that's actually going to be 1 point off of securing that tie with the Murlocs dying, taking the Murkai all the way down to 2 attack by the end of the fight.
Yeah, not a bad loss for him. He's still in a really good position, and he's rolling into some decent minions if he wants to pick up the spawn. He probably will just level and hero power something, probably the spawn. The others don't really do too much for him. I could see him also going for the pack leader if he wants to, and consider the beast option, but probably won't do that as much.
Yeah, leveling this turn does give him the option for the greedy push to 5 when he hits that triple on the next turn. But he might just be feeling he's against another powerful early game hero going up against Oliek on the Yogg, so he might be fearful of just how much damage he's going to take this turn.
It looks like Ariana tripled the Murlocs into the Gold Grubber, so really good hit for him. Probably the best thing he could have hit here. Now he has some options, some scaling. He's on 3. He's actually ridiculously strong for Ariana. Decided not to use that ability at all, not really rolling. You can see he's still in the first form, but he has a really good board with the Gold Grubber and the two golden minions, so
doing great out there.
in a great spot.
He is indeed, especially with this potential Kindly Grandmother opening. It's the perfect minion to be able to snipe off the Divine Shield from Alakir, and absolutely does manage to do that. Going to be cutting away a lot of the value from this Elemental, but it still manages to pick up 2 pretty nice value trades there.
Yeah, he's got a clean win. The first round when you have a Gold Grubber is really the scariest round, right? Because that's when your Gold Grubber isn't as strong, but he got through that round fairly easily, and now he's going to be in a great spot to level and find the real direction.
Nice work out there.
This is the big turn now for Dummit.
Oh, interesting. It looks like he sold his elementals last turn to pick up the spawn. I was wondering if he wanted the spawn this turn, right? Last turn, or if he was going to hero power. He actually just sold his elementals to get the spawn. He's going to see if he wants to sell that third elemental to get the triple this turn, or wait on it and go for a 6.
Really like that. I didn't think about the play at the time, but as I was just saying before we transitioned our POV, he was up against Yogg that round, who's another very scary early game hero, right? So he might have just felt like he'd end up taking too much damage if he was going to play greedy and level up to get a 5 or a 6. So I actually like the play of cashing out the Spawn of N'Zoth to try and preserve some health. And you can see from his health total now, coming back to him, it absolutely worked. He's managed to preserve that 32 health by picking up the Spawn of N'Zoth. Really clean play.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice play. I actually didn't see it when we were looking at it. I was just considering hero powering, but actually selling the elementals to get it on the board this turn was a really good adjustment for him, really making it work out.
You see Dummit shifting around to try and force the tie with his teammate Silvername on this side. I think Silvername might have just undersold his position just a little bit.
No, he gets the tie. He gets the tie.
Perfect.
Yeah,
okay.
Very clean play from them. You can really see their teamwork working out to orchestrate a perfect tie. That was kind of a difficult tie to orchestrate as well because of the scaling from the Gold Grubber and all the Murlocs that have that can change their attack value. So really good to see them using their teamwork to full effect.
Yeah, and I think because of that free fight against Silvername, Dummit has decided to go for maximum greed here and get himself the 6-drop instead, which I fully respect. And there is some pretty big payoff.
Yeah, he has 2 directions, the Little Rag and the Goldrun, depending. I think the Little Rag is the easier one to do. Just pick that up, pick some elementals. There is a brand in the shop, so he could pick up the Rag and just go for elemental scaling, trying to get the 4/4 that gives you 2 elementals with the brand. So he has a lot of decisions here. The strongest minion this turn would be the Gas Curler if he doesn't really like any of these options and just wants to go for power. But I think a lot of players would take the Rag here. It just makes too much sense.
Yeah, completely agree. Just a shame that there isn't another big potential elemental in that last shop to spend your remaining gold on, but you can't be too upset about picking up a brand here to go along with your board.
I really think he wanted the Amalgadon, especially with the brand in the shop. It looks like he's trying to force a Murloc composition, not an elemental composition.
That's fair.
But the Little Rag pickup might just change his mind for sure.
And now Oliek looking like the kind of board that we were more familiar with seeing on day number 2 early elementals into that genie, he has massive potential, not only for the big 6 drops, but also to triple some of those elementals that he already has on board. And straight away, we see this happening with shocking regularity, Collins. Just the big 6 drop elementals coming down off that genie.
Yeah, you can also see that the Silver Name has a good setup here. He has the Gold Rubber scaling, but he also picked up a Nomi. And you can see once the Ariana triggers, that elemental frequency will be extremely high. He'll be getting a lot of value from that Nomi, and we'll be able to scale massively. So everyone's in a good spot.
Yep. But this Gar is insane for Oliek since he already has so many elementals in play right away. But Silvername does have the ability to go nuts with this Nomi, as you were saying. But even then, rolling into that fully packed shop with 0 elementals in it is not what Silvername wants to be seeing.
Yeah, he still has... he's considering getting the Argus so that he could taunt the Gold Grubber and use that as a buffer room for the rest of his board, so that everything runs into the Argus and he just deals a lot of damage that way. So he's still in a pretty good spot. Hopefully he needs to pick up a couple more elementals to get the Nomi value going.
A Malgadon found here for Oliek, but his board is predominantly elementals, so he doesn't have that many minion types right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have really good scaling with the elemental. The only scaling from the elementals will be the Gnar and the party elemental, but he's really looking for a Nomi, really looking for a Rag. He's still on 5, so he doesn't really have options in terms of getting everything except for tripling into those little Rags or finding an organic Nomi.
I mean, I just see a genie on the board, Collins. I don't know, you don't seem to have faith in this genie to be able to feed you everything you need.
That is definitely the other option.
Yeah. Did not end up being that impressive, though. Stasis Elemental's still not that bad, though, when you do have the ability to scale Elementals. Just the guaranteed 2-for-1 Elemental in a single shot is still pretty good.
Yeah, he's still pretty strong, being able to take out the Calc dogs here. So he's in an okay spot. He's super healthy, second healthiest minion player in the lobby. So he just needs to find a little more key pieces and he'll be roaring to go.
We switch back over to RDU, who just dealt a little bit of damage and looking like he is trying to build up a Murloc comp of his own. Levels to 5, trying to hit that brand now, does pick up a Cold Light Seer, which can give him a little bit of extra value.
You can see a lot of players are adopting this. Let me have a comp and then have a Jhin on the side. Yep. Jhin is the side hustle for every single player in this lobby. So kind of interesting to see a lot of people are really respecting the Jhin in almost every single composition they're making. They're just adding it for the high roll. Oh, am I going to get an Amalgadon? Am I going to get a little Rag or something like that? It's really interesting to see how people are adapting to the changes in this meta.
Yeah, it feels a little bit bad for RDU to have to give up that spawn pair when you are playing Rafarm. It always feels like when you have that spawn pair playing Rafarm, you're going to hit that triple sooner rather than later. But I think we've reached the point in the game now where not too many people will be rocking Spawn of N'Zoth. So RDU's probably missed his window.
Fascinating board here. Looks like he's deciding on going for the pirate shenanigans. Probably took inspiration from RDU in the last game. Okay, I was a little wondering why he was putting the Divine Shield minion first, but it looks like he's changed the ordering a bit.
But why?
Oh, is he fighting his teammate? That has to be the reason, right?
He must be. Okay, that makes sense. I was going to say, there's no reason why you wouldn't want a pirate to go first, right? With the Wind Fury Divine Shield, but yeah, that's absolutely what it is.
Alright, so this is a little bit hard. He wants to win this round. I'm surprised he's making his board significantly weaker, knowing that his opponent, his teammate's at 32 while he's at 14. He could theoretically die here. I do think he wants to err on the side of caution. However, he is extremely strong and probably made the right decision there, taking so much damage on his teammate. Ooh.
Yeah, when we actually see it break down, you can see that Alexis had it absolutely right there. He was monstrously stronger than his opponent and could even have afforded to weaken his board state even more there.
Yeah. Deciding not to take the 3-3 pirate, but going for the 3-4, which is a really good piece to find the composition. Looks like Goddammit has found the triple, looking for the elemental composition. So you could see he initially wanted to go for Murlocs, but he's finding more and more elemental pieces, and it's kind of edging him into the the dark side of elementals. You can see him just selling those 15, 20 HP Murlocs just to put extra elementals on the board. You can really see the how enticing it is to just go elementals, even if you have a really proficient Murloc composition.
Yeah, for sure. You saw just as we transitioned into Dummit there, he did throw away the Genie right at the start of the turn, so he's considering that he's got enough value out of that, can't afford to have the small stats on his board anymore, and he's just going to look to scale hard off this little rag and double Gar setup that he has right now, and I think I like that decision overall.
Yeah. What he could have done is he could have sold that 4-1 and ended on the Murloc to give 2-2 to the poison at least. I do think the poison is very likely to be kept till the end of the game, but the other Murloc, if he finds another poison, will probably also be kept, so he could have ended with +2/+2 on his Murlocs instead of just rolling away the extra gold. But still not a bad play, and it looks like he's going to tie here and keep the Ketas alive.
That tie was a huge scam at the end there with the Wildfire Elemental getting the perfect overkill by attacking the Bran. The only attack there at the end was going to get the job done. But Shenvala and Habu Gabu just got absolutely smacked by Yogg-Saron at the end there. Absolutely insane. Habu Gabu now going down to 8th place in the second lobby, completely really nullifying his win from the first lobby there. He's now got a 1st and an 8th to his name in the openings.
Yeah, you could actually pinpoint the mistake in the beginning of the match when he took the Shenvala, in my opinion. It's definitely a high roll hero where you could either go first or last, and unfortunately his first 3 rolls were just not enough to carry him there, and he just fell too far behind after that. So I think the Barrock would have been a much safer play, but I do respect the high roll potential. He knew that he had a good chance of going last if he did pick up this hero and didn't find any elementals. Unfortunately for him, that's how it turned out.
And meanwhile, huge Murloc scaling turn here for RDU. He has found the brand, which he was missing last time we visited him, and that's an insane turn with multiple Cold Light Seers and Begurgles coming down. Huge pile of stats right now for RDU.
Yeah, it looks like RDU is in a much safer spot. Everyone seems to be starting Murlocs and then transitioning to Elementals, and RDU is like, no, you sell your Murlocs, I'll take them, So it seems to be working out well for him. He's still 35 HP, so really in a good spot to carry this game.
Attack does not snipe the Divine Shield, which is actually a very big deal, because now it means that Pyro on the counter-attack is going to pop the Divine Shield on the Amalgadon and allow the Salty Looter potentially to take 2 big trades here, and it absolutely does. Yeah,
this boat's going to do a lot of work for this Alakir here, see if it can find enough stats to give so that the Murlocs don't one-shot all of his board.
Big attack on the Eliza though, but still plenty of health remaining on the other side for RDU to be able to take things down. And with the Begurgle living, that's absolutely going to spell the end of the game for Alexis Diesel, who's going to go out either in 6th or 7th here, depending on if Boodalicious has survived. And he has. Yeah,
unfortunately, the Pirates, couldn't do it. I think once again, that's where things went wrong for these players. So it's been shown that Pirates don't actually perform too well, but I do think he made the best of his situation, getting the early Eliza and trying to make it work. Unfortunately, a lot of these players are good enough to be able to deal with Pyro compositions that that these players can throw out. So unfortunate result there.
We are confirming all of Colin's biases today. He hates Shambhala, he hates Pirates, and then here we are. They're just both losing.
I don't like these compositions because they don't seem to work out. If I'm seeing lots of Pirates getting first place, I might change my mind, but I'm seeing quite the opposite today.
All right, you're right.
All right, so it looks like Ragnaros is also living on the RDU hype train, finding Murloc's composition. It's going to be a little bit awkward for Ragnaros as he discovers that he's going to be giving Begurgle to a fully fleshed out Murloc composition. So even though he might survive this turn, he will be helping his opponents get an even stronger board.
Yeah. The sheer amount of poisonous that he has available, though, might just put him in good standings in this fight, depending on where this Divine Shield goes. Okay, that's a very big deal. Does mean that Amalgadon gets to eat another big minion and trading with the poisonous.
Yeah, he does have a lot of stats though, and is probably almost able to tie there. Unfortunate attack there. If he hit the right, he would have not taken that 10 and would have been a lot healthier in the rest of the game.
Yeah, the Divine Shield roll and the attacks, I think, lined up pretty well there for RDU overall. And now we do see Bootylicious. He did survive that one extra turn, which moved him up from the potential 7th place up into 6th, but cannot survive an additional round, so he is going to bite the dust now.
Yeah, I'd like to see what the Yogg is running right now, because you can see he has been the dominator, murdering people turn after turn after turn, and you can see he has the double rag and a gigantic Gar as well, so he's really got that composition that to be smacking people. So you can see there's a lot of Murloc players in the lobby, probably in response to this player knowing that you won't be able to beat him with stats, you have to beat him with poisons and Divine Shield. So probably the reason why we're seeing a lot of people transitioning back into Murloc players, because they're seeing people or their teammates getting smacked for 30 plus, and they're like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to scale as fast as he is, and so I'll just go Murloc.
Yeah, this is looking like an enormous board on this side, though, so you are absolutely right in suggesting that Murlocs are really the only thing that are going to be able to compete with this. Worth noting at this point that I believe that Silvername and Dummit are the only team with both players still alive in the lobby right now, which is huge for them, considering they were hot on the heels of RDU and Habu Gabu going into this one.
Yeah, that was a really important, but he didn't hit the Divine Shield though. Really important sell to try to get Divine Shield poison. He unfortunately wasn't able to hit that, and the opponent has a ton of poisonous minions, so I actually think that the Murlocs might be able to edge this one out depending on what those rolls are.
Yeah, a few of these death rattle outcomes are going to be pretty important, though. That's actually a pretty big deal now for Oliek, because that's a ton of extra stats that are able to trade down this board. But depending on how this 47-38 goes, I still think it's just about going to get there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Keeping himself alive, so you can really see the Murlocs being the answer to this board. I wouldn't say there's really any other board state that could deal with this. Even Dragons with Nadina wouldn't be able to get through that Gar right there, so that's really the only realistic answer. You can see a lot of the top players are finding poisons, finding Murlocs, specifically to counter this one player here.
Yeah, and there's the negative from the Genie sometimes. That Golden Genie dropping so many elementals that this has ended up being a tripled amalgam from Oliek.
I don't think he needed to play the poison here. I think he already has a really high chance of hitting the Divine Shield, and now he has to sell something if he wants to play the 3-2 as well. So, oh, well, no, that's... Okay. All right. That's one way to outplay me right now, right there. So yeah, just get the instant triple, and so you don't have to sell anything at all. So a really smart play from Oliek there, finding the exact pieces he needs to make me look stupid.
Which is, of course, the ultimate goal of all of these players, I'm sure.
All right. He's in a great spot here now. He can get that 4-4 as well. Probably won't be able to play his whole board. Probably will play the gas coil and hold it. Yeah, hold the 4-4 here for next turn, as long as he lives.
Yeah, going into Goddammit here on the Maiev, who was huge last time we saw them a very, very long time ago already with those giant Gars. But suddenly, this insanity that we're seeing from Oliek is starting to make this look pretty tiny in comparison.
Yeah, you can really see all the other players trying to find a way to incorporate poisons into their comp, specifically to deal with this player and his gigantic elementals. You can see that it's going to be a real struggle if you don't have an answer to these big boards. And everyone else seems to be looking for ways to deal with it.
This is the problem sometimes, though, with getting an Amalgadon with so many adapts on it, is that you fill your board with plants and really reduce some of the value.
You can see even in Silvername's board that he had poisons as well. Everyone looking for poisons to be able to deal with this one player specifically. If this guy wasn't in the lobby, you wouldn't be searching frantically for as many poisons as every other player. And you can see that everyone is realizing this is what I need to do to find a way to win. This is the play I have to go for. Everyone's looking for poison.
triple now found for XQN. Nothing that lines up super well with his board though, so yeah, just picks up a Gas Coiler for now. Is at least an immediate improvement to his board state. Decent minion to finish out the 7th spot.
Ooh, that is a huge pickup here. Finding the Selfless, giving him more hits to be able to find answers to the score. I was very worried for him, but finding that Selfless and finding an extra poison here might be the difference maker. Deciding to sell one of his smaller poisons and keeping the Murloc, thinking that Murloc is big enough to salvage him. I'm considering if he wants to lock for that poison giver, but probably has enough attack at this moment right now.
I mean, you say that, right? Like, obviously the one remaining minion has 55 attack, right? So you think, there's no way I need poison on that. This is the Gar lobby that we're dealing with,
that
though,
is
right?
true.
So maybe it's still worth the investment. I'm not entirely sure.
It might be better for him to just skip this and just focus all of his gold next turn, all of his rolls, if he survives, on finding a Baron. I think that would be the more impactful play. So I think not locking here makes a lot of sense, and just trying to find that Baron for the next round if he survives here.
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
All right, it looks like this is going to be a game of what does the 1/1 hit? Does the 1/1 pop a Divine Shield? No, it doesn't. So now it looks like we have 6 poison hits to 5 poison hits, giving him the edge in this this round here. So this is reminiscent of Murloc lobbies in the old, where you just count how many poison hits you have. Do you have more than your opponent? I guess you win. Kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, he has got a lot of work to do to be chipping away at that massive health pool on RDU, though. Did have the ghost fight in the last round, so it means he is going to be up against Oliek on the Yogg here, who is the player with those giant elementals on the other side. But the full poison board with the Divine Shields from XQN, I think, should be able to deal with this on average as well.
Yeah, I mean, really looking for that Baron would really solidify XQN's position in the game and really give him a board. I don't think Oliek needs to focus on making his Gar bigger. I think it's big enough. You know, you don't have to do that anymore. But he's getting really unfortunate hits on those Amalgadons, not getting Divine Shields, and I think he might even have the last Amalgadon in the board. I think the other boards have at least 2, so probably won't be able to find a triple for that. But he does hit a Selfless triple. That's really big. Hopefully he doesn't die here. For him, he might be selling he sells the Gar. He sells the Gar. what a massive risky play there. But I think it's needed. You can see how these Gars fall off in these games, selling it, thinking that it's not good enough to be able to deal with XQN's board.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. He knows he's up against 2 Murloc players, right? So it does not matter whatsoever how much health that minion has. If he can't give it Divine Shield, it's worthless. And so to get those Divine Shields on the board, he might as well just sell the non-poison minion to give himself the best possible chance. I love it. What
a crazy play. You never see these in normal lobbies. Just because people don't have the idea or the game plan that, this 300 HP minion is useless. Let me sell it. You never see that. So really good to see from Oliek here.
Huge deal. Still 2 more plants left to attack, and they are picking off these Divine Shields very efficiently right now. That one does whiff, though. That does hit a small minion. But now just the giant pile of stats
but he
left
lives.
on that one remaining Murloc is going to win the fight for XQN.
But
you are correct. He is going to be alive to fight for another day.
What a massive outcome, because now he's able to get that golden Selfless as well, so he's going to get a lot stronger in these following turns, because he does have that Baron. He also tripled the Amalgadon in the same turn, so he's going to have Divine Shield. He just needs to find another poison to replace it, and he does find the poison, so everything working out for this this turn for this player. So we'll see what he can do now. He didn't need to play that Elemental. He probably should sell that and play the Pirate. Yeah. Okay. So he's getting the ordering correct. Okay. Good to see.
Already has the Genie functioning as his Elemental for the rolls, but honestly, it's almost a formality at this point. Like, if that did not hit Divine Shield at some point, that would have been absurd. But there it is, coming down with the Divine Shield.
Whew, okay, this lobby is gonna go down to the wire. Everyone finding the pieces they need. Every small thing working on this favor. You can see the one thing he might want to do is find another poison and replace the genie. Actually, this 56-58 is just too weak for this meta right now. So yeah, gonna sell it and gonna replace it with a 4-3 because that's what we're doing in this meta right now. Oh, he accidentally stole the Baron. Oh, disaster! Oh no!
Wait, what?
Oh no!
Better hire a recruit.
He accidentally sold the Baron. Disaster for OLES here. Oh my god, this is probably going to be the deciding factor for this round. We'll see if he still survives.
It's gonna have to cost him here, right? That's just -2 divine shields on this poisonous minions. Like, this has to have a huge impact.
Oh no! Oh, F's in chat. F's in chat. What a disaster! He had the perfect setup. Will it still be enough? He does have 5 poisons against. Okay, so he still survives. He still survives.
Still there.
It's not over yet. He's made a lot of good plays. Just one mechanical error, really making this game a little bit more tense. You can see him scratching his head. So thankful to still be alive and roll for another Baron.
Yeah, and the damage really starting to ramp up now. He was able to push 17 that round, and now he has the luxury of the Ghost fight again. You saw previously, even though the Baron did end up getting sold, I like the decision to keep the smaller minion in the lookout and use that as the minion he's poisoning, because it deals more damage if it survives, right? Which with Divine Shields in play is actually very, very important. More important than the stats themselves when you're just dealing with poisonous minions.
Yeah, you can see that he's just rolling to try to rectify the mistake that he made in the last game. The only thing he needs for this board realistically is the Baron that he sold. So he's just going to spend this turn and most likely next turn just rolling down all of his gold looking for that one card that he sold. Unfortunately, that would solidify the win for him.
All right, if he's done with his turn waiting to fight the Ghost, let's jump over to the fight between the other 2 remaining players, which is going to be XQN versus RDU. We were talking about how XQN should look to pick up the Baron. We saw that he picked up a Macaw instead, which kind of does the same thing, right, in that position, still adding extra Divine Shields to your board state, which is a very, very big deal. And honestly, in terms of number of Divine Shields, I think RDU's in the worst position overall, right?
Yeah, it looks like, for sure. That's why he's teching in that ghoul to kind of facilitate the removal of the Divine Shield. So even though he hasn't found as many Divine Shields as his peers, he is making the right play, finding the tech he needs to try to counter his opponents here.
Trying to line this up to allow the Divine Shields to go off first and then have the ghoul come in after the fact and snipe things away. But he does go first attack on the Parrot, which is a really, really big deal there. And now the Selfless Hero attacks. That worked out perfectly for RDU.
Yeah, what a big brain play there. Even getting unlucky, not finding as many Divine Shields, finding a way to find the counter to deal with the Divine Shields from his opponent. And it looks like that will be enough to take XQN out of the game. So good play from RDU to take the top 2 spots in this game, even though he was technically behind in his board state.
Yeah, and he needed it, right? Like, Habu Gabu picked up a win in the first lobby, but he picked up an 8th in this lobby, so needed his teammate in RDU to really pull the numbers and put in a big result in this lobby. And he's absolutely done it. And now, with those extra Selfless Heroes back into the pool from the new dead player, he's able to find the triple himself.
Yeah, that's true. Probably the Selfless going back into pool being the reason why he was able to find the triple so easily this turn. So I don't think there's really too much for RDU to do here. There's not really any big thing. The only one thing he could do is try to maybe triple a Macaw or triple the... Even tripling the Macaw would not be good, actually. He needs to find a Baron because Macaw triple, there's too many Death Vials on his board.
Yeah, way too many other Death Vials to
he
be relying on that.
He found the Baron in the last roll for OLES. He finds the Baron. Will he sell the spawn? Of course he will.
All right, it's back. Welcome back to the team, Baron Rivendare. Sorry, I apologize. You're back. Welcome back, buddy.
the one mistake that he did ends up not punishing him too much. It does punish him a little bit because RDU is healthier than he would have been if he kept the Baron, but he does find it in the end. Hopefully this will be enough to salvage the game, but RDU does have a good game plan with the Ghoul being able to deny the Divine Shield, so we'll see what happens in this last match.
Yeah, and Oliek does not know about that unstable Ghoul. I don't think he's seen it. I think RDU picked it up in the round where Oliek fought against the Ghost. So now the surprise tech of the unstable Ghoul! Oh no! Disaster attacks for RDU!
You can see the smirk. You can see the smirk on Oliek's face. Everything working out for him. That one mistake he had in the turns before, not affecting his game plan, seemingly not affecting the outcome, and the Divine Shield goes into the 1-7 massive plays from his minions.
Yeah, no plants on that remaining Amalgadon, which means by the factor of a single token, he's actually going to stay alive. But RDU
so does
lives to
RDU.
fight another day. What an insane final three, Collins. What is happening here?
This is actually so bad for OLES now because he got so lucky in that round, the 4-2 hitting the Ghoul. However, now he knows it's a Ghoul, so now this is where positioning mind games come into fruition. Will someone play their 4-2 a little bit later? Will they play their Ghoul a little bit earlier? Will someone sell their Ghoul and go for a Baron themselves, right? There's a lot of positioning mind games to be done in this last turn to really solidify who actually wins this lobby.
Ooh, the Ghoul has been sold here for RDU, and he looks like he's just going to try and pick up an additional Poison Murloc himself to replace it.
Yeah, so it looks like he's not believing in the Ghoul. I do think the Ghoul was a really good tech.
Yeah.
And selling that Ghoul actually might be the one of the reasons for a loss potentially even. So, he's selling another minion to triple the Murloc. I wonder what his game plan is here now. Oh, he wants to play the Macaw. Okay, that makes so much sense now. He wants to play the Macaw. That's why he's selling all of his Death Rattle minions so that he could get the clean Macaw here. That has to be it.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a decent game plan. I was looking at an alternative, which was just picking up the Defender of Argus there to add more potential taunts to your board and shut down the ability for the unstable Ghoul to get sniped. But I do like this as a plan, just trying to compete in terms of raw number of Divine Shields. We did get confirmation as well that Oliek just simply rolled away his 10 gold, did not change anything at all on his board state. Happy with the way that last fight went. And now here we are with RDU getting a ton of Divine Shield value. Full value, 8 poisonous minions now, essentially.
But OLES is going to only get 3. Okay, so it's looking like it could... Oh, that was a massive hit, depending on what happens there. So maybe those Death Rattles at the end might be the determining factor here now. Especially with,
it's over. It's over. It's over. Oliek takes an absolute marathon of a lobby there. Did have that potentially catastrophic mistake where he threw away the Baron Rivendare, but was able to welcome him back to the team later on. And in the end, in an incredibly grueling top 3, Oliek picks up a win for his team, which is very, very important because his teammate Alexis Diesel did pick up a 7th place there. So actually, multiple teams kind of getting a first and last type of lobby, with RDU and Habu Gabu getting 2nd and 8th, and Alexis Diesel and Oliek getting 1st and 7th. So actually, in terms of average points, a fairly evenly split up lobby, you'd have to suspect.
Yeah, I do want to take note of how impressive this lobby was.
Yes.
Everyone playing well. You saw people casually selling 300 HP minions, selling golden gems, selling 50/50s just to get 2/2s on the board, just to get tiny Murloc poisons on the board because they knew that was the only way they could fully win the board, getting a full Divine Shield comp. That was essentially the strongest composition you could realistically make in Battlegrounds these days, just having gigantic poisons with a selfless Baron composition. So you saw people really identify that, I have a 300 HP minion, not strong enough. Let me sell that. Let me put this 3/2 poison in because that is how I'm going to win the game. He sold his gigantic elemental smack that was smacking people for 30 in the mid to late late game, and just to fill out a poison composition. Really well done from Olieth here.
Yeah, beautifully done. You can see the upshot of all of that now is a very, very tightly contested leaderboard. Habu Gabu and RDU do maintain their lead. Very impressive still. Not quite the blowouts that we saw on day 2, but still a first and a second to their name, meaning that they are slightly in charge of proceedings here on our Championship Sunday. But everyone absolutely still in with a shout. And I think, Collins, you broke it down very, very well already. Like, what an incredible high standard of play. I know we were talking beforehand that this is some of the craziest Battlegrounds that either of us have ever seen, even though both of us play an absolute ton of it. Is it also some of the highest level Battlegrounds that you think you've seen so far?
I mean, I'm not in the game, but, you know, excluding that, excluding that, yeah, I think this is definitely some of the highest Battlegrounds that we've seen so far. So very excited to see how things are going to shake out in the following lobbies.
Yeah, well, those lobbies are going to come at you thick and fast, but I think after that, I think all of us need a bit of a rest. Collins is going to sub out. He's going to go away and grind ladder so he can qualify for the next one and show us all how it's done. I'm going to be joined by Gia for the next 2 lobbies, so do not go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.